The permission is.
It's for the organizers.
Dr. Shailendra is not here, so we have to wait for him. So,
Yeah, Dr. Shailendra has just joined.
Dr. Shailendra, are you there?
Yeah, I just got in there. I had some problem with the internet, so now mobile.
Okay.
Very
So,
sorry,
sir, can
very
we
sorry
start
for
the
this.
session?
Sure. Sorry for this fiasco. A very good morning to all of you on this Sunday morning. I welcome all the distinguished guests and again apologize for this delay from my side. This is a very interesting session and it will continue to evolve. The fashion, fabric and technology. Technology has propelled this growth of human society in numerous ways. From our basic needs, which we used to listen in our childhood about roti kapda or makan, food, clothing and shelter, to the advanced robotics in healthcare technology, it has made a rapid progress and assumed a status of one of the indispensable and very effective tools in modern era. Clothing has always been a necessity with regard to our human civilization and also a means of showcasing what we are, our culture, our interest. Today, I can easily say that clothing represents a social status, religious learnings, and possibly cultural diversity. When you travel to other places, you see similar people, but wearing a different kind of attire. So they represent what they are by explaining their unstated intent by wearing what they are. And the professional status can amply be reflected by one's clothes. A different kind of clothing is now possible, which is aided by very powerful technological tools that supplement the shape and creative ideas of our wonderful fabric designer. And it's scaling numerous heights. So the best is yet to come, and I would leave this forum to the distinguished guests, and let's continue with this.
So, sir, with your permission, can I start, sir?
Yes, you can start. You can start, please.
Thank you, sir. So, can anyone just confirm that my screen is visible or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your brief session about it, sir. And I will try to do a little bit fast so that we can cut out the time. Here, I will try to connect the creativity and the innovation all together so that we can, the technology and the design, which is our motto, we can go together so that in the one time we can get something which is really a want for our nation and for our whole over the world. So, start from there. We know that from the farm to fashion, that is the value chain. If you think from the 5F and the 6F, no doubt, that is we always think for the foreign, that is export market, that we really concerned about it, because unless and until we do a better market, we cannot sustain for a longer duration, and we cannot create a sustainable value chain. So here we find that from the farm level to the fiber, fabric, finish, we find that there are lots of wastage we are there. As if we conserve it and we can maintain in a sustainable manner, obviously we can meet the expectation of a brands and apply the synergy. Keeping the 6F, that is foreign, we really concerned about it. If you go through this scenario, we have found that India is the second in the position of the fiber, yarn, fabric, garment, just after the China. But if you go with the retail markets, we have found that it is in the fifth position and only 3% share has been there. So that means we have to really concern that whatever the products we have really the good consumer, we have really in a production rate, raw materials, we have all the things, but in the retail market, somewhere we have failed to connect with the better export market. Progress. If we go with the changing trends in the consumer wardrobe, that is 10 years ago, we have found that our basic function, that is whatever we have in our the apparel and the garments, that is actually for comfort and price is a matter. But But in the case of the current situation, we have found that look and trend is the concern for us. We have found that during the years, there are different types of wear, there is casual, office, night, party, and the etc. But if you go with the after 10 years, that is if you deal with the future, we have found that fashion, along with the accessibility, that is technical function, is really a concern. That is the IT. We know that is AI, artificial intelligence nowadays has been growing, and we have found that the metaverse and all sorts of application in the other social media as well. So that means we have somewhere we are really concerned about the technical function in order to make the fashionable market and the design market in a better situation. Sorry. If you go with the desired effects, we know that the casual wear, daily nowadays, are no doubt a big concern and the fashionable for the consumer. At the same time, the corporate wear wants the wrinkle, dimensional stability, stain release, and work wear with the functional finishes. Along with that, value addition always with the special finishes such as mosquito repellent, anti-static, freshness, and the hygienic. We no doubt that the skincare and the comfort is a concern, and we really tried our best to make this value addition onto the style and the fashionable materials. But at the same time, we have to always keep in mind that textile value chain, if we go with the from the fiber to the consumer, we have consuming approximate 70 to 75% water consumption as the processed water. So we really need to concern about that. We can the energy, the water, and the other parameters we should keep in mind. Keeping that in mind, we have found that machinery, there are lots of development in the machinery processing. In the biotechnology, we are also, in order to make the sustainable environment, enzymatic use are there. And no doubt the green chemistry and technology can possible with the help of the replace with the hazardous chemical, reduce with the effluent load and utility. And no doubt the biotechnology, which is nowadays has been an area of application where we have found that since from the deciding, where there are lots of enzymes have developed, that is amylase, pectinase for the scouring, bleaching, catalysis, dyeing, and the finishing. Cellulose enzymes served their function. In the bioscarring, we have found that the enzymes can work well in the acidic and the alkaline condition, and also with the minimal in temperature. That also serves the lots of safer side of our environment. In the same time, we have found the microbial colorants. We know that plant and animal dyes, no doubt, creates a lots of dyes effect, but microbial dyes nowadays also can give a better coloration to the fabric, and in this way we can make the things sustainable. At the same time, we can save the lots of water and other raw materials. If you go with the effluent treatment, nowadays the fungi, bacteria, and the yeasts can also serve the decolorized of the many dyes, and in this way we can really think for the better future. If you go with the new technology, that's reduction in the cycle time, water, energy, chemical dyes, effluent load, etc. That means we are increasing the profits but decrease in the environmental impacts. So that means we have to really concern that whatever the goal we have produced, at least the same quality product, if not better, but the faster, economical, and the less effluent load will be our concern. If you go with the one movie that is the Three Idiots, where we have found there is a symbol of excellence that that they wanted to show with the help of the fountain pen. But we forget that there is a graphite, which is actually the pencil we already use in our life, day-to-day life. So that means whatever existence in our atmosphere, in our nature, we should not forget that things, and unless and until we have always focused on the research and development to found something innovation. That's not out that true, but already that is involved, that is already innovate, we should always focus on the technology point of view. So that means graphite, nowadays we have found there is no doubt a wonder material where the graphene type of material can be developed, and in the future 10 to 15 years we can say there is a world which completely covered with the graphene. There is no doubt a highly conductive, flexible, fight hardened, at the same time as a wonder material which has developed, we got the 2004 the Nobel Prize as well. Keeping in that mind, we have tried to focus or connect that in the nature we have most of the things we have biomimic with the text in the case of the nature, and the textile and fashion is also the bigger concern. If we go with the weaver bird snakes, we have found that is a very good plain weave design structure. In our day-to-day life, we have found that coconut leaf set and the orb weave, the spider's web, it is also a sign of a woven and the knitted structure. So we have developed a lot of woven fabric, and in the same time, the CAD computer design has make our life very easy in order to make the designs in a much more higher level. At the same time, we not to take much more time. So in the knitted fabric also, we have found the CAD and the other design software has developed, and we are nowadays with the help of the acrylic fiber or the wool, we have made almost the good number of knitted fabric for the winter season. Keeping all that mind, the actinic lappa, that is also the is a good example for the Vacro, and we have found that is a very used in the fashion and the textile industry. We have found that non-woven textile is no far away with the mulberry silk cocoon, the beautiful example that is a gift of our non-woven technology that we have found in our daily life, and the tubes housing construction of the catapult marine worm in the underwater environment. If we connect with the nature in the lotus leaf, we have found that lotus leaf is a very good example for the water repellency. We have found it is very close, and it is a great science and technology. We have found that is a water repellency effect. So lotus leaf effect, we mimic it, and we tried the lotus effect. We have found that if it is a smooth surface, the water molecules will drop it out, but the dust and the other impurities will not take it. But if you give it the lotus leaf effect, we will found that it give you the cell cleaning at the same time the water repellency effect. We try to mimic it, and we have found that it is nowadays a very good value addition in our day-to-day life. If you connect with the optical interference phenomena in our nature, that is a peacock feather, butterfly feather, etc. That is, in fact, we have found that is a very beautiful color, but it is actually not a dyes and a pigments. It is actually a completely the phenomena of a light, that we know the optical interference. We closely go with the same image we have found that it is actually the rearrangement of the arrangement of the feather, that is known as the barbule effect. And this is once we go to the textile application with the different fiber materials, such as the example of a polyester, which has the refractive index of 1.6 and nylon 1.5. So there is a small difference of the bandwidth, and we have found the blue color. So that means in this way we can found with our dyes and pigments, the colors can be generated. And the second example, that is the butterfly feather. It is also the same phenomena where we have found the rearrangement of the wings can develop a fabric. In the morphostructure, the colored fiber has been developed by the Teiji in Japan, and it is actually the mimicking the way the color is produced in the Morphex butterfly's wing. Even in the, we have found that the pseudo's fast skin, there is a FS2 swimsuit, mimics the texture of the SAR skin to improve its wear speed while reducing the drag. Even in our nature, we have found that plasma, that is a source of the lighting, lightning bolt, and the solar corona. And even we are nowadays developed with the man-made also. But obviously, this is a great gift of the fourth state of matter, that is after the solid, liquid, and gas. And it is an ionized gas which has carries the positive and negative charge. So we have nowadays lots of application of the plasma technology, and we are happily done the life. We connected with the nature in more with the bio-inspiration in textile and fashion design. We have found that most of the students nowadays connected with the nature, and they try to mimic that particular design onto the garment, and they create a very good fashion show, and at the same time the good market. If you go with the natural source as a dyes, we found that why we required, because there is a lot of synthetic dyes which is actually creating a lot of effluent. Keeping in mind, we are the plant and vegetables is the biggest source, and nowadays we have found not only they give the dyes color range, but also at the same time we have found it's a very good source for the antibacterial, ultraviolet protection, and at the same time we have found the phytotenancy can be possible with the help of the natural resource. Keeping in mind, I will show you a few of the examples. There is groundnut texta. Actually, it is a very good coloration source, and it at the same time it gives the microbial protection at the same and the UV protection. So this is the fabric that we have developed with the help of the tie and dye and the groundnut texta, and we have found there is a very good fastness property. In the second, we have from the chickpea peel. There is also serves as a very good antibacterial source, ultraviolet protection, and the coloration property. So different shades we have developed it, and nowadays we have also created a good garments with the good fastness property. Lots of bark we have in the plant source, and we have found it's a very good source of coloration at the same time the finishing material. Here we have found the eucalyptus tree, and we have developed into a bulk arena so that we can create a good market out of it. And we have found there is a good coloration with the eucalyptus tree, such as gulmohar, and other bark also has a good potential to get the good coloration. These are the few effect on the different types of fabric. We have one more resource, that is a wastage of a green coconut shell. It contains lots of water molecules, and we are actually not taking care of that. If we extract it with from that particular waste green coconut shell, we can generate a lots of water, and actually this shows the pH of 4.5. We can change with the pH 7 and 10, and we have found it gives the multifunctional property. So instead of water, we can do better results on the ultraviolet phytotenancy on the fabric. Then we can give the antibacterial property and ultra UV protection property. Even we have found we can change with the help of the modern, we can increase the efficiency at the same time fastness property, and we have found the very good results. Now the question, why this coconut shell extract has the lots of potential? Once we go for the GCMS, SPLC, and other analysis, we have found this coconut shell extract has a lots of potential, lots of functional group, which helps to give that particular type of functional properties. Instead of water, what we have done, we have taken the acid dye and we have used in the coconut shell extract, and we have found very good coloration and at the same time the finishing effect. This experiment also done with the silk fabric, and we have found not only to give the good coloration with the acid dye, but also we have found the multifunctional properties such as ultraviolet, antibacterial, and phytotensive. Other sources such as banana pseudostem, spinach leaves, and the pomegranate leaves, they have also the good functional property. Now, if we connect with the mosquito repellent, nowadays we have found after the COVID, now there is a dengue and malaria, there is a problem in our country. So keeping in that mind, there are lots of repellent material we have in our day-to-day life. If you go with the mosquito repellents, no doubt the chemical repellents are there, but at the same time, natural and the herbal repellents such as citronella oil, castor oil, clove, cedar, and peppermint, these are also there. So that means it can be will serve with the transparency repellency or the direct contact repellency. And pad dry cure, spraying, and the coating technology can also serve with these type of materials. Even in the commercial products, we have found with the Sarex and Archroma has manufactured this material. Evolution, cone, or cage stage, we can do it. Keeping that in mind, we have developed the multifunctional cotton fabric with the help of the chrysanthemum material. So here we have synthesized with the oil of the chrysanthemum and applied with the help of the particular sun binder and pad dry cure technology. And we have found that the coconut shell extract along with the chrysanthemum oil gives the very good aroma value, and we know that the chrysanthemum has the very good aromatic value. And because of that aromatic value, it is well known established, it gives the very good mosquito repellency. And for the coconut shell extract, we have found the antibacterial and the ultraviolet protection along with the natural coloration. So that means we can found that very good value addition onto the textile and the fashionable material if you do such type of activity. With the help of the fastness, we have used the PD class and binder. And these are the evolution method that we have done for that particular type of experiment. Now, if we move ahead with the sustainable approach for a textile design with our students, we have found there are lots of fashionable materials in our day-to-day life, and ultimately, if you go with the cradle to crepe, we have found lots of wastage, and we forget about this bottom of the pyramid of the world, where we really we can give a better life. Keeping in that mind, what we have developed with the help of the textile design student, we have collected the old clothes from the market, from the wardrobe, from the society, and we try to increase the value addition with the different products, either with increase with the coloration, printed, or keeping the different shapes. Even we have planned with the help of the design student the sustainable wedding, where we have we have found that whatever the material we have used, from that material we try to focus on the coloration, we try to focus on the garments and other materials, so that we can do a better for the bride, for the bridegroom, and for all the society. So we have created the eco printing with the help of the modern such as iron rust and other, and we try to develop the sustainable print wedding. With the wastage of the wedding temple waste, we have collected the flowers, and we have also tried to do eco printing onto that material, and these materials also giving a low cost minimal low cost material, and also giving a very good fastness property. Even in this Diwali season, we have collected the flower of the marigold and the rose petals, and we have developed the very good eco printing effect. So here we can watch one of the work developed by the textile design student, that is a Madhura Kasi. This is eco printing work which has been developed with the help of marigold and the rose petals. Now we have also tried to make the things sustain upcycle with the help of the non-woven that bags that is a wastage, and we collect it and make it given a design shape. Also, we collect the denim fabric and we have given the different look and different end applications. Here we have also developed that non-woven polypropylene bags material with this type of design effect. And these students have developed nowadays the fashionable materials with the help of the wastage, and we can do a better connectivity to the fashion world. The old fabrics also we have given the Katha story inspiration taken from the Durga Puja, where is actually the motifs taken from the dark lotus, Ma Durga's side face sung, and we create a very good also market on the fashion so. Even with the Rajasthani soup embroidery and other embroideries effect can given on the old fabrics and bakes, and we developed it. Tie and dye effect is also done on the different materials. Madhubani paintings, which is well known and well recognized in the Bihar, and this also has been depicted on the mask, bags, and other saris and the materials, where we have also found that old garments has been creating a very good effect with the help of the such type of effects. With the wastage of onion dye and the tea and the other rust of the iron rust, we have given onto the fabric and we have found a good effect. Turmeric, that is which really a good source of our day-to-day life for the food, but also it can be used in the textile materials where we can do the tie and dye and the embroidery effect, and it's given the good effect. Keeping that in mind, in the COVID season also we have developed the neem, tulsi, and the turmeric in the mask, and we have found it gives a very good protection for the bacteria and fungus, and also at the same time it has a very good UV protection and microbial resistance. Keeping in that mind, if you go with the sustainable fashion system, we know that we have to always keep in mind the people, planet, and the profit. And if you really want to go with the circular economy, we have to think that there is a lots of way possible in our day-to-day life, where you just the things that we have to think it and we have to develop it. If you go with the environment concern, we know that really nowadays there are so many R, but in that replace, reduce, reuse, recycle. If you go with the rethink, that is a lots of solution we can find it out. And in the case of the footprint, we know that water, carbon, life, and the other footprint are increasing day by day. So cleaner and the greener environment is required. And if you go with the each and every steps, that means either we go with the reuse, rethink, with the recycling. That means how we can as much as the things we can reuse the cradle and crave. That means we can do a better society and better environment. So in short, we can say we should always think whatever technology we do with the save in water, processing, and the energy, so that we can go with a better world and better technology. These are the 6 books that edited last 3 years. Okay, so thank you. So it's my small things that if we can small acts when multiplied with the millions of the people can transform the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pandit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Your efforts are well appreciated, and I'm sure there's a lot of upcycling movement going on. A lot of people consider it an extremely bold fashion statement to use upcycled clothes,
Yes,
and it has got a great potential. It needs to be marketed well. You should use a lot of modern day platform of social media to bring it to a next level of awareness.
sure, sure.
Can I request Ms. Pratibha to invite the next speaker?
Yes, sir. Sir, Dr. Reena Mehta, she is not present here right now. So we can go with the Dr. Kundalata Mishra. Yes, ma'am, you can share your screen.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning to the chair for the session, Mr. Shailendra Vasudeva from Indorama Corporation, session coordinator, Ms. Pratibha Singh, and my fellow panelists, as well as each one of you who has joined us virtually today. I would like to thank the entire team of Textile Tech 2022 to provide me with this opportunity to share my research with all of you. I'm Dr. Kundalata Mishra. I'm associated with the Fashion Design Department from NIFT Mumbai. And today I'm going to talk about the role of aesthetics in multifunctional performances of industrial workwear. During the last decade, the interest in research on protective wear and their effect has grown, especially during the pandemic we have seen. The study focuses on the role of aesthetics as a motivational factor in the segment of protective clothing for a better compliance. It is very important that we talk about take through history of any product to ascertain its future path and developments. Clothing has been used for protection since the beginning of time, shielding the human body from physical, social, emotional, and spiritual threats, real and imagined. Be it the prehistoric man wearing animal hide to protect himself from the harsh climatic conditions and wild animals, or the rulers who wore armors in war that helped them not just win the war, but escape with minimum injuries. Going through the history of workwear, one of the earliest references of an actual clothing gear worn for the protection is in the drawings by Peter Bruegel. There are three hooded men wearing long sleeve, full length smocks made from heavyweight canvas-like material, for all we know is denim fabric. The face masks are made from the basket weave bottoms. The clothing helps protect them from the bee stings while they collect honey and beeswax, which have a lot of functional use for us. What is personal protective equipment, or we say PPE? PPE is the equipment worn to minimize exposure to the hazards that cause the serious workplace. We have the personal protective clothing. The protective clothing is a part of PPE which consists only of the apparel. The purpose of protecting the workers from the harmful chemicals, heat exposure, and toxic gases. OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, is a large regulatory agency. They have declared 4 levels of protective wear, of which we are doing the level D, which is a work uniform, like a secondary protective clothing. So as per OSHA, this is the industrial workwear, which is a work uniform. These industrial workwear are seen to be worn in various process industries. Process industries are the industries like petrochemical, agrochemical, pharmaceutical, textiles, and many. What are the kind of job works which are done in these industries? So they are mainly welding, lathe machines, working on the lathe machines, doing the spray painting job, then the frontline workers who are involved in carrying out the various processes that involve working with flame, dust, exposure to hot, humid work conditions. These job profiles expose the workers to an environment with a potential for a hazard. So through these various job works seen in the industries, it is important to look through the concern and issues that are associated with the industrial workwear. Earlier, the industrial workwear was heavy and bulky. And as we can see in the image, there was no uniformity and the proper compliance of industrial workwear wasn't seen. So there is a need for the industrial workwear for corporate branding, creating an identity, having a professional image, getting a good first impression. So that's what we say. The first look is what you wear, and that is what is required in an industrial workwear. The need for this is, it may be noted that these job workers have to cater multiple job profiles and categories of job work. So one job worker may be required to take up multiple job works, which create the need for industrial workwear with multifunctional design approach. And the pandemic has shown a rise in the need for a workwear. Thus, the target is to meet the current market and user needs through design of multifunctional industrial workwear. This forms the core of the research undertaken, and the objectives were to identify the process industries and to access the clothing needs and drawing to design the industrial workwear with aesthetics and evaluate the role of the multifunctional performances and its compliance by the industrial workwear. So the research methodology in this study was to identify the industries. The sample size was 50 industries. Through snowball sampling, it were being used. A worker 600, so around 15 to 20 in each industries were being taken from as the availability. Permissions were taken, and the tools mainly were used the interview schedule and observation method. So as a part, identifying the industries. So mainly in the Western region, where we have more of incorporation, and me staying in Mumbai, the reach was more to the Western region. So where I could get the contacts. So the research was majorly done in the Western. So after conducting the various interview schedules, some experts were being noted, which were the majority of the workers and safety professionals felt good looking design, attractive, smart looking design can be one of the motivating factors for a better compliance of the industrial workwear. As in this chart, it clearly shows that aesthetics is one of the features only behind comfort that is identified by the workers and safety professionals. Other important features include safety, fit, and functionality. So thus the summary complete of the design features were that the garment should be flexible yet effective, should not restrict the movement, should be durable, should follow the Factory Act 1948. It should be easy to clean, repair, and maintain. While working with the drilling and welding machine, to wear the fit clothing, and also to train the people for the PPE, for the donning and doff of PPE. So in the experimental part, on the basis of the need assessment, 100% cotton twill denim was selected as the fabric for development of industrial workwear for the chosen industries. 3 weights were taken, 9 ounce, 11 ounce, and 13 ounce. And for all these experiments, as we are catering to the market, so the fabrics were picked up from the market first, and the testing was done, the preliminary experimental work, where we had the reactive dyed denims and the indigo dyed denims. So the testing was performed for both these samples, and the finishes being taken as with the job profiles we had matched, like which the finishes will be used. So we had antimicrobial finish, flame retardant finish, the moisture management, and stain resistant finish. And all these finishes were commercially, as the need is there for the commercial market. The fabric was prepared with the process desizing, enzyme washing, softening, hydro extraction, followed with the tumble drying. And the preparation of fabric was done. So first preliminary work was done, application done on the reactive and the indigo dyed, where it was seen that indigo dyed is the preferred one. And for the 3 job profiles were being taken: petrochemical, welding, spray paint. And these are, as we can see on the screen, these combination finishes were there. And as per the standard test methods, they were being tested for their performances. And these are just a few glimpses of on the slides of the work, like sample coding was done. So in total of around 87 samples were being taken in, and their testing was done. For evaluation was done for various multifunctional finish combinations. The results were tabulated and interpreted to arrive at the optimum combination. And samples were tested for their finish application, properties related to performance, comfort, handling, wash, for which the following were the tests achieved and their results. We can see on the screen, this is just a glimpse because of the limitation of time. So basically it was being seen after the preliminary work, it was seen that indigo dyes have the capacity to kill the microorganism as observed in the test. So natural indigo dyed denim were to be used for the subsequent research experiment, as inherent feature enhances the property of resistance to microbe. And for the selected finishes, it was evident that the combination offered a good option for a durable antimicrobial and flame retardant, antimicrobial and stain resistant, oil release finish applicable on 100% cotton denim fabrics. So these were, and the salient design features were incorporated to ensure adequate protection against the hazards. So basically we see that there is as from the interviews, the role of aesthetics and fashion is required for a better compliance for the industrial workwear. So for that, a design process was followed. A 4-stage waterfall model is usually suggested when we go for designing for the special wear, for a performance wear. So we had discover, we explored the perceived need to understand the need, we translate it, create the work, and develop it. So we have the solutions ready for the market. And these are the 5 whys. Like, we need to find out, when we talk about the design process, the importance of need assessment, who are the users, why we need to do it, where is the location, what are the goals, and when do they need it. So a good successful design must provide an innovative approach resulting in innovative concept that simplifies existing products, extend norms, or break new grounds in materials. So the elements of industrial workwear design: styling, right fabric, right color, the garment details, and create a brand identity. And this was the model which was being proposed for the industrial workwear. We have the physiology, protection, and functional aspects. With all these 3 aspects, the thing which combines, that is fashion and aesthetic, which will blend the protection, comfort, efficiency with acceptability. This was the framework which was being designed. So that says the whole process, what goes in for the design of an industrial workwear. So a multi-safe design range is designed to protect individuals working in the petrochemical, metal industries, OEMs, refineries, welding, spray painting job, a complete range providing varied protection. So it was for heat, withstands flame, extreme heat, and spark from the molten metal; anti-static, which prevents electrostatic charges accumulating on clothing; welding, protects during welding and tasks; and then the mechanical, benefits from good mechanical resistance, especially breaking, tearing, and abrasion. So these were the designs which were being created. And as we can see in the image, that there were usage of the fluorescent color fabric, which were there. We created these strips, and the message was given like, this garment has this multifunctional property of being moisture absorbent and anti-static. So this is what was being followed for the designs which were being created. Like, this is the design ensemble 2 for anti-static. Then it is with the stain release and flame proof. So these designs were being made, like around 6 designs for 3 different profiles selected, and 1 apron during the welding process to be used. So, and all these ensembles, they were then evaluated by field testing for their comfort, ease of movement, safety, size, and style features, basically creating a smart look to assess the acceptability of protective clothing by workers and safety professionals. So this is the image, the pictures being taken while the workers were wearing, and they were wearing it like for a month. And then the evaluation was being taken care. So it was a lightweight denim as compared to what in the past we have been using. So the aesthetic appeal and design features of the ensembles were very well appreciated. The fit and comfort was found to be good. Elasticated waistbands, use of reflectors as design feature for visibility purpose during the nighttime. Extra cushioning at the knee level was another design feature which received a very positive feedback. Then when we talk about design, comfort, aesthetics, another important aspect is the economic feasibility. So we saw that the work being done by me, it was the costing was the very much feasible for doing this industrial workwear. So overall analysis of the it was done on the Likert scale, and it was found that to respond on the visual experience, a user-driven design methodology was used. So design is a mean of achieving a positive reaction of an observer and potential customer. It is human nature to respond on visual experience of an object. Aesthetic design can affect the success or failure, a user-driven design methodology to address a breadth of technical, functional, physiological, social that impinges on the design of clothing with embed technology. So fashion and aesthetics are the key for blending the physiological, functional, and protective element of industrial workwear and to ensure a better compliance. So the saying I would like to end with that by Steve Jobs, for you to sleep well at night, the aesthetic, the quality has to be carried all the way through. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mishra. It was wonderful. And you rightly pointed that when a person sees the visual message, the color, it evokes the response. So this modern technology, which includes the intelligent modification of clothes by use of different textile material, the different dyes, as you mentioned that indigo is worth using, and they produce a determined effect. The clothes, the garments, the industrial workwear can be redesigned with the aid of technology to change colors, block sunlight, or to reduce the effect of harmful radiations which the industrial workers use. And they can also collect medical data that probably can be taken at a later stage to emit vibrations or even to display the custom messages for the safety of the area where the worker is working. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I ask a question from Dr. Mishra, please?
Yes, sir, please.
It was a fantastic presentation, Dr. Mishra. My only point is that have you approached other industries to what their reaction of buying this kind of product? Like I'm talking about the marketing part.
Yes, sir. I have been been associated with the PI industries, SRF. I have the contacts, and with my designs, I had done the evaluation. So for the workwear, I have been proposed this, and in two of the OEMs, there is Uniflow Controls, and we have one of the MI industries. There, the people are using this denim garments which I have designed. So I had basically, I was been given the sponsorship from one of the companies only, one of the OEMs, and they had sponsored the complete research project, and they are using it. And
Are they using it in bulk or they are still using it on a sampling basis?
no, sir, in bulk. Like they, it has been, I have given them the designs and rather the manufacturing contract. So their workers are wearing it. Right now, I couldn't support with one of the visuals. Like these are the visuals, what like in the industry they were wearing. So maybe in another presentation, I'll try to share the complete workers wearing these uniforms as per their work profiles.
Fantastic, Dr. Mishra. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
One more thing, Dr. Mishra. While you were making this presentation, I had sent across a message to our Mumbai office to get in touch with you. We also have certain ideas to take this thing forward.
Right.
And we would love to collaborate with your institute. We have certain ideas in our mind, and internally we had been discussing how to take those forward, and it's wonderful that your thing came at probably the right time.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll wait for the call.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Kundalata ma'am. Now I would like Miss Dr. Sona M. Anton to please present her talk. Dr. Sona.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
I guess, sir, she has some internet connectivity. So she's not present.
Okay, Pratibha, so we can move to the next presenter.
Yes, sir.
Do we have Aditya?
No, sir, he's also not present.
Okay. So can we leave the house open for any questions and anything else? Are there actually no questions from the audience?
No, sir.
Is Mr. Aditya is having internet problem, something like that?
No, sir, I called him. He is in traveling, so he can't attend the conference.
He has got a very interesting subject. I was wondering. Sona also. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Both of them are having very interesting subject.
And we don't have Miss Reena Mehta also?
No, sir, she's also not present.
Okay. So I think we can bring an end to this session. And my sincere thanks to everyone. And it's sad that we missed a couple of the sessions because of the travel schedule. And we all feel that technology is scaling tremendous heights, and with it, we see all the applications. Whatever we can imagine today, that will probably become a reality after a few years. Textile and fashion design have in store a lot of promise, and it continues to challenge our imagination. Well, still, the finest clothing ever made is a human skin, but the society demands something more. So there's a quest for better clothing, better fabric, trendier garments. So there's a lot of technological development to fulfill the human desires, and we must continue to thank our technology supplier, machinery manufacturer for their innovation, and designer for their creativity, and of course, the consumer for their strange and ever-changing demands. The best is yet to come.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to thank you all the speakers for such an informative talk. And I would also like to thank you, Dr. Shailendra, for handling this session so beautifully. Now, our next session will resume at 10:30. Till then, you can join the other rooms if you want, or the talks.
Thank you, Pratibha. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Vandana.
Good morning, sir. Sir, actually, we are waiting for the rest of our panelists to join us soon.
So we have Kevin is unfortunately unable to join today. He's
Okay.
got some urgent work,
Okay, sir.
but Mr. Harit should be joining. But I think we can still start because he was also a little occupied, unfortunately.
Okay, sir. Sure, as you would like to say. Okay. So welcome to the section 23 panel discussion on activewear. Myself, Vanna Kumari, coordinator of this session. I would like to welcome our session chair, Kishan Daga sir. He is founder of textile consulting firm, Concept and Strategies. I would also like to welcome our panelists present over here, Harit Mehta, Sandeep Podre, Anil Rana, and Jay Shah. I would also like to request our panelists to please give a brief introduction about them. And from here, I would like to hand over this session to you, sir. Please.
Thank you. Thanks, Vandana, for giving the brief introduction. Let me just introduce the panelist to all of you on a quick basis, and then we'll go into the session. So first is Shri Sandeep Pondrik-ji, who's an senior IAS, chairman of BIADA, and the principal secretary for Industries Department, Government of Bihar. He is our distinguished guest today. He has been instrumental in promoting and encouraging the establishment and development of small, medium, and large-scale industries in Bihar, particularly in the green field, with attractive incentive schemes specifically for the textile and leather industry. Welcome, sir. Then is Mr. Jay Shah. He's the director of Mira Cotton and Synthetic Mills in Mumbai. It is a vertically integrated textile business company. They are one of the largest knitters of polyester stretch fabrics and also manufacture garments for both domestic and international markets. Welcome, Jay. Then is Anil Rana. He's a global sourcing manager for Bliss Club with 17 years of experience with varied companies in the textile trade. He's the leading expert in apparel textile product sourcing as business development. Welcome, Anil. Unfortunately, we don't have Harit and Kevin at the moment with us. So as they join, I'll introduce them. So to open the session, I'll like to ask a question to Anil. So Anil, you can unmute and then we can talk.
Yeah, good morning, Kishan. Yeah,
Morning.
please.
So Anil, as I understand, you are a startup brand which has come up big time in the last 3 years and have gained the turnover very, very fast. So first of all, congratulations for that.
Thank you so much.
And you've been appointed to set their sourcing strategy because they're looking at a much bigger business going forward. So what exactly are you looking at? And also you recently traveled across various regions in India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, wherever. So what do you think? What are we still missing? So these two questions to you to open the discussion for all of us.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, and let's start this discussion. So, as Kishan mentioned, I have a little bit small experience into industry developing diversified product, worked with a few companies across industry, and having that experience, this company Bliss Club, which is a tech-based startup out of Bangalore. The idea behind their brand is that to solve the problem for a category. Specifically, right now they are focusing on the women's wear, activewear, athleisure product line, and they're trying to solve this the problem, day-to-day problem, irrespective of activity in terms of low, medium, high impact activity. They wanted to develop clothes and product for their day-to-day thing, not specifically for gym wear or any track and field activity. So it is like the idea is well placed. There was a big white space into this category in India. There was no hardcore or dedicated focused brand for catering women's. So that white space, I think the company has established themselves very well. And when I joined the company, I took that vision from the leadership, and same way I have tried to invest my expertise, my work experience, and also from industry experts like Kishan and other supporting team members. We are building a product on very depth basis. We are not building product on a fashion line like any other fashion retailer. We invest a lot of time, money, efforts to develop a product, and then only we launch the product. That's why our product line is very limited and focused. Also, the company growth has gone to a very commendable place, which I would say that is the reason of their vision and their efforts toward product and solving the day-to-day problem of a women. I got opportunity to build this supply chain for them from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, China. They were already doing some of the products from some of these production countries, but they were lacking to add on more expertise. So I got connected to right people, right resources, and I'm trying to add more and more resources for company. Apart from this, I tried developing few products in India itself. And past also I tried, while my last companies, I tried building some resources from India itself, but always I felt that there is a lack of resources, expertise, and then also a focus. In India, we don't push our limits to close a project from beginning to end. In between that whole essence got lost in all. Even I felt it. Sometime I started developing, like 10 years back, I started developing active fabrics in India. I couldn't do it in Ludhiana, either Surat or any other region. I couldn't do it and I failed it. So I also lost that interest. But whenever I try to approach Taiwan factories, Thailand, Turkey, and even China, I was always like somewhere like I could deliver my product. So that traveling experience also gave me opportunity to learn and how to place that ideas in India. I'm currently also doing some of the fabric development, material developments in India, but the expertise are limited. And also the resources are not flexible. I would say that flexibility is not there. Recently, I got an opportunity to travel Sri Lanka for this lingerie, innerwear, and activewear business, where most of the premium retailer does their productions and sourcing. And I felt that that small country has evolved their system, their expertise, their supply chain so well, and they're far ahead to invest time, money, and efforts. Their manpower is trained to do that product. Also, they are collaborating with one of the best mills across global. I think I don't need to name few, but yes, they are very much collaborative in adopting new technologies, new processes, and they are not shy away from bringing the best from globe to their country. There is a small 8 billion US dollar export comes from Sri Lanka. Only 4 or 5 major players are capitalizing that particular business, and that business they are continuously, despite of tough time in their country, they are still evolving their processes. They are still adopting the new challenges, and they are investing heavily. There are 3 mills upcoming in Sri Lanka. I'm like it is a just recent trip, so there's too much things in my mind. I'm carrying a lot of inputs from there, so that's why I'm talking that they are still investing, and few players are from India itself. That's a surprise to me. Like, the people are not investing in India, they are investing in Sri Lanka because they are getting support from government bodies, they are getting support from their customers, and even they are expensive in manufacturing costs. Still, good brands, reputed brands, or a premium brand wants to go there. This is how we also went there to explore the possibilities. And likewise, Bangladesh also. Even Bangladesh evolved so much into their manufacturing capabilities that India is not focused. We still try to find a comfort zone, or we go easy route. So this is what my take on this particular question of Kishan. Anything specific, I can answer it that way.
That's great to know, Anil. That's actually a lot of input and something to really think about for the Indian companies. And people like you would be definitely required to kind of push, because there's always a buyer who has to push than what is required from the supplier.
Yeah.
So, and fortunately, you have sat on a seat where you can do that easily after looking at the supply chain thoroughly.
Yes.
So from here, I'll go to Jay. So Jay, you can unmute and we can talk.
Yes. Hello,
Yeah.
Kishan ji.
So Jay, while you are the largest stretch polyester fabric manufacturer of India broadly, and having a sewing unit as well, but you heard what Anil said, that we are still not there and unable to attract the customers like Bliss Club and many others like Puma and Adidas. He says the expertise is limited. He says the resources are inflexible. He says we don't invest our time, energy, and efforts in adopting technology. We actually don't collaborate, which is somewhere true also. So, how do you plan that your large capacities are involved into this kind of thought process and we attract a better price business, the premium business? I'm not saying go to the Puma stores to make the basic jersey, no. I'm asking go to Nike, go to Adidas, go to Reebok, anybody. Do the business which has money, the way we call which is the moolah. So I would like to hear from you on Jay about what do you think about all this?
So firstly, good morning, everyone. I'd like to firstly thank Ms. Vipula and Ms. Vandana for coordinating this session, and Tai and Kishanji for having me as a panelist over here. And I would like to tell Anilji, I've been following your brand for a while now. The journey is quite enviable, and I'm a huge fan of everything that you guys are doing there. Sir, so coming to my talk. Firstly, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Jay Shah from Mira Cotton and Synthetic Mills Private Limited. We are a vertically integrated textile manufacturing company, manufacturing polyester, texturized yarn, knitted fabrics, and garments, specializing in activewear. Sir, so your question, I think, could be covered. I think it's a three-part question, which can be answered in just 3 words. That's maturity, focus, and constant innovation. Let me elaborate. So you said we are one of the largest stretch fabric manufacturing company. Sir, while that may be, it's not just the scale that we take pride. If I have to put it in words, I would rather say that we are one of the matured manufacturers of polyester knit fabrics with a keen understanding and culture to handle spandex and sensitive qualities. Out of the 90 plus tons of fabric that we manufacture daily, 45 to 50 tons of fabric is spandex based, with a range with a spandex content ranging from 6% to 27%, on an average 10 to 12% spandex. Tights and sports bras made in these fabrics with mild pitching is our core product. I believe, Anilji, that is one of your core categories. So probably that's where we can collaborate, and we could be a local source for you. I will definitely send you some qualities. Now, his concern again is that people are not investing in machinery, or there's no culture probably. Like, I would either say, like the words that you put it, I would rather say there's no culture. Culture is missing. So, sir, for any industry to work, there are 3 M's we believe. That's men, machinery, and material. What has been lacking over the years is the synchronization of these 3 M's. Some people may have culture and machinery, but they don't have access to good raw material. People may have good raw material, but they do not have good machinery or culture. Anilji, we are slowly getting there. I think so. You can now probably try developing these fabrics in India. So now to answer your second question, Kishanji, I would like to quote Bruce Lee. He once told that I do not fear a man who's practiced 10,000 kicks once. I would rather fear a man who's practiced one kick 10,000 times. So earlier we used to do tens of products to just to feed our factory. Today we are doing almost 300 to 350,000 pieces monthly, only in 3 categories. Our focus is razor sharp. This way we are able to do the same categories for multiple buyers. This just does not make us cost viable for any kind of MOQs, big or small. This helps us to have an edge in terms of the understanding of the product. Today we are able to guide most of our customers in terms of product construction, product functionality, is what works, what does not. Sir, you also talked about patents, I believe. So I don't think there's much to do in terms of patenting in grace fabrics. It could probably be done in processes or yarn level, but we're constantly trying to innovate. We're constantly investing in new technology. We're constantly developing new qualities. There are certain qualities that we've developed over the years that other manufacturers takes 2 to 3 years just to get the product right. So again, to summarize your question in 3 words, it would be product maturity, focus, and constant innovation.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you for the insight. Although I would still like to push you and tell you that yes, few things that Anil mentioned are still missing in India, and I would say also with Mira Cotton, is collaboration with international people and not reinvent the wheel ourselves.
Yes.
By investing something that we might not be perfect as of now.
Okay.
It's always good to gain perfection from somebody who's done it.
Definitely. Sir,
so that would, I would say, something that we can take even Anil's help and more people
yes,
to
sir,
do that together.
Myself, my technical team, for pre-COVID, we used to always travel to countries like China to understand their technology, understand the products that they're doing, which we've been missing for the last 2-3 years, which we would definitely like to start again.
Sure, great. So fortunately, we have Mr. Harit Mehta also joined in from Harin Textiles. So I'll just give a quick introduction. He is the member of the board of directors for Harin Textiles, having operational since 1964. It's a fully integrated family-owned textile mill. And Mr. Harit represents the division which collaborates and has a JV with Everest Mills, which is one of the largest mills in Taiwan, to make yarns and fabrics for people like Nike, Lululemon, and other brands. So welcome, Mr. Harin.
Thank you, sir. Okay. We have a joint venture with Everest Textiles Taiwan. They are a specialty mill which makes from nylons and polyesters and spandex and blends with specialty yarns for Nike and Lululemon. We want the idea, as what Mira Cotton says, that it's important to have collaborations in India because the world is looking for buying where garments are made. When we are making garments in India, they want the source of fabrics and yarns to be in India and not do anything to do with China. It's with that intention that this joint venture was formed, and that's the intention in which we bring those exact specialty fabrics that is available in the Far East to us in India. So the idea is to make the fabrics and yarns available to you as a garment producer, to you as a textile mill, to you as a processor, that you could offer to your buyers. All these brands, as what Mr. Daga said, that the Indian brands are also looking to make exactly the same types of fabrics that is available in the Far East here in India. And the Indian brands want to make the exact same type of garments that are available overseas for India. And with Europe in trouble, Japan in trouble, and the United States in trouble, all these people are looking to us in India to sell in India and to buy from India. So that's what it is.
Great. Great, Mr. Harit. That was a good kind of prelude to our discussion. So I'll just now go to Mr. Sandeep Pondrik, who's the senior IAS and also, I would say, now represents or the hero of Bihar, in my words. So welcome, sir. So I have a brief question for you, that Bihar has come up with the best opportunity for apparel and textile manufacturers, which has abundant skilled labor at very low cost. But I still want to know that how do you really want to attract the people like Everest to set up in India, the people like Bliss Club to buy more from India, and people like Jay to set up specifically in Bihar to take the advantage of the cost and the labor and make themselves bigger and larger and compete at the world stage. So, sir, the stage is for you.
Thank you, Kishan. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for inviting me to this e-conference and giving us an opportunity to present what is happening in Bihar and what we are trying to do in Bihar. So responding to your questions about how we are trying to basically attract textile industry in general and active wear industry in particular in Bihar, I have a small presentation which I will run through. But before that, basically, the question is why Bihar? It means anybody new who has not been to Bihar or who has heard maybe some negative things about Bihar. The question will always crop in their mind as to why go to Bihar. So broadly speaking, I would like to answer that question as to why Bihar can be the next Bangladesh as far as textile is concerned, and why that is possible. So with that prelude, I would just like to run through my presentation. It's not a big presentation. Vivek, next, please. Yeah, so the question is why Bihar? Why should somebody come to Bihar? So you sort of indicated to it in your introduction about the skilled human resources. Now you go to any textile factory in the country, be it Bangalore or Gurgaon, Noida, Gujarat, anywhere, a majority of skilled workers, or if not majority, a large portion of skilled workers are from Bihar. So that gives us an advantage in terms of skilled manpower. And especially after COVID, what has happened that a large portion of these workers want to come back and work from their homes, work from their villages, because they have seen very bad times during COVID when they were away from their homes. So the mindset has changed in terms of working from home. So that is one. The demographic profile of the state, we have a very young population, though it's negative in some sense about population growth, but in terms of skilled manpower, it's a positive point. We have more than 50% people below 35 years. So this skilled manpower pool is likely to sort of go on for some time. And then the second point is water. Now, many states are facing this water scarcity, especially I saw Faridabad, Noida, even in some other parts. Water is becoming a problem and people are forced to take water at high cost. Bihar doesn't have that problem. Bihar has a very high water level. We have many rivers. In some parts of North Bihar, you can get water at maybe around 15 feet below ground level. And water is, I think water is going to become a problem in many parts of the country, but not in Bihar. So that is the second thing I would say. Third is the policy support from the government. So as you mentioned initially, we have come up with a textile and leather policy, which was launched in June 2022. And I would say that it is one of the best, if not the best policy in the country. And we are giving a lot of incentives and support to people, investors. So, and I will talk more about it later. So that is another reason. Now, one thing which many times people don't sort of realize is the location. So Bihar is at a position where it can not only cater to the 14 crores population of Bihar, anybody manufacturing, but also to Jharkhand, West Bengal, the whole of Northeast, Eastern UP, and Nepal. So that is sort of a domestic market, though Nepal is international. So the market and the increasing demand of textiles in this market, you can cater to about 30 crores of people by putting your industry in Bihar. The economic growth has been substantial for last many years, though there is a low base effect, but for last many years, Bihar has been clocking higher growth rate than the national average, and which basically translates to higher buying power. So I have been working in the states for about close to 30 years, and I have seen so many changes in terms of new showrooms, new brands coming to the Bihar in last 10 years. So that is another thing. And the last point I would mention is about the support the department and government is giving in terms of transparency. So we have an actual single window system where people can simply apply at one place and we get all the clearances. I'm sure that everybody says it, but we try to sort of be realistic about it and actually do it in the state. So those are some of the reasons. In terms of education, I would basically say that we have some of the best institutions in the country, from IIMs to IIT to the NIFT in terms of textile. So we have a good educational environment, and specifically for textile, we have and leather footwear design institute or apparel training center. So all these things are there in the state, which can train the manpower. Now, about supporting infrastructure, we have the government has basically realized that the land cost in Bihar is higher because of the high density and very fertile land. So in industrial areas, government has reduced the land cost to up to 80%. So whatever was the land cost, up to 80% has been reduced to incentivize the industry. We have about 3,000 acres of land available in different parts of the state in industrial areas. And the connectivity. So if you see in terms of connectivity, it is improving. We have now 7 airports catering to the state. And in terms of highways, we are one of the best states. So if we go to the next slide, Vivek. Yeah, so if you see this, those are some of the 4-lane and 6-lane highways which are already in place or which are being constructed by NHAI and other institutions. So you see that from north to south and from east to west, there are so many highways which are crisscrossing the state in addition to the eastern dedicated freight corridor. So in terms of connectivity, Bihar has really improved over the years. Next, please. These are some of the industrial areas where land is available. So as I said earlier, we have about 3,000 acres of land and in big chunks in some of the places. Next. And this is a thing which we are basically doing to incentivize the textile industry. So that is the plug and play infrastructure. So we are developing about 24 lakh square feet. So about 2.4 million square feet of space in different industrial areas for specifically for textile and leather. So, and this these sheds will be available at a very reasonable rent on 15-year terms from rupees 4 to rupees 8 for a 15-year term. So as you can see, they are near Patna or near Muzaffarpur, which is coming up as a textile hub. So this is one thing which we are providing on a large scale to incentivize the textile industry so that their capital cost in terms of building of infrastructure, in terms of civil infrastructure, that goes down, and they can simply come with their machines and start production. This infrastructure is coming up. So some of that is already ready for allotment as it can be seen here. And by April, most of the infrastructure will be ready. Maybe by June, we will have all of the 24 lakh square feet of infrastructure ready for allotment. Next. These are some of the incentives which we provide under the investment promotion policy as well as the textile policy. So interest subvention, GST related incentives, skill development, and the land conversion and stamp duty. So these are the general incentives which we provide to every sector, including textile and leather. Next. And these are the incentives which we provide specifically to textile and leather. So there is a capital investment subsidy. And I think the most attractive is the employment generation subsidy, that up to rupees 5,000 per month per employee for 5-year term will be provided by the state to the investor in terms of employment generation subsidy. And in addition, there are certain other things like power tariff, etc. But I think employment generation subsidy, not many states are providing, and this is really sort of a good point for anybody to consider Bihar as a investment destination. Next, please. We have also prepared some ready-made models as to what kind of investment and what kind of total incentives will be provided. So as you can see, in a buyer model, if you want to establish a 500 machine textile unit, then these are sort of standard calculations that the investment is about 21 crores and you will get over 5 years about 32 crores in terms of incentives. And similarly for other number of machines, different sizes of units. Next. And then we come to the manpower. So as I mentioned, while we have a good manpower base, but one more thing we are doing is that we have a very good organization called Jivika, which is a women organization, which has more than 1 crore members in the state. And we are collaborating with them to train women to work on textile units, work in textile units. And this is already started going very well. And because women, I think in many parts of the country, women are preferred to work on the textile units. And we are basically providing that opportunity for any investor. And the training cost for women will be borne by the state government. So you don't have to, anybody coming will not have to bear the training cost, that we will bear. Next. We have another interesting model, and that is a job work kind of model. So we have a state scheme under which we provide rupees 10 lakhs to a state youth, man or woman, to establish a unit. And we are basically, we have come up with a model which is already under implementation, where we give this money to a group of youth who put up their units in an industry. So just to give an example, we have a back cluster where 40 women from Jivika have been given 10 lakhs each. So that makes it 4 crores. And they are putting up their unit, which will be supplying to a particular brand. So the brand will give them raw material and they will supply the product to the brand. So it further reduces the capital cost of the brand. It's a sort of a micro job work kind of model where the government is giving money in terms of capital investment to the whole system of cluster. Next. We already have certain success stories in terms of textiles. So one is being shown here where about 50 units are already working, small units, not very big, 20 to 25 machines. And another is cluster is developing in Muzaffarpur, where 200 machines are already working and 1,000 machines are going to start by December. And we are developing this Muzaffarpur as a big cluster for textile. And we are targeting active wear specifically because, as many of my previous speakers said, that there is no specific focus on active wear in any part of the country. So we are targeting active wear specifically for Muzaffarpur. Next. I don't think we have time to play the film. So next. So broadly speaking, what are we offering? We are offering plug and play. We are offering full support to anybody who wants to come to Bihar. We have a dedicated single point of contact for any investor. We have single window clearances, bank linkage support, and land. And if somebody wants to put their units, so we can also give land. So broadly speaking, yes, and we are getting very good interest from different parts of the country. People are coming, and we are already, many people are in already advanced stage of plan. Broadly, a PowerPoint presentation about what we are offering in Bihar, and I would hope that we are able to develop Bihar as an active wear destination, specifically because while there are specific areas in other states specializing in different things, different kind of garments, but we would like Bihar, in addition to other textiles, to be developed as active wear. So with that, I thank you for giving so much of time to me. Thank you, Kishan.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for this. Actually, the real groundwork, I would say, being done by under your leadership, that how to attract people to make things in India and in Bihar. So that was very detailed. However, I will still say, sir, what we are missing is international collaborations to be invited. So we still need to work on that aspect. That, for example, if we have to call in Everest to set up a unit in India for production, which is not, they are not ready right now. But how do we attract them? How do we make a pitch so that they start talking? And Everest is just one. There may be hundreds, which even Anil or other people can connect in Taiwan, in Korea, in Japan, who might be willing to come, but without the government, I would say, support and intervention, they are not very confident about it.
Okay. So just to respond to this point, yes, I totally agree that, and let me assure you that government is 100% behind this effort. So even our chief minister, he participated in an investor meet in September end, and he assured everybody that there will be 100% support from the government at the highest levels. And we are very much sort of ready to talk with international players and give them whatever they need, basically, to start production in the state. So we would be very happy if we can get some leads and contacts, and we will try our best to give them 100% support and whatever the state government can. Thank you.
So I would call that as a red carpet welcome for everyone.
Yes, of course.
All right. Thank you. So Anil, coming back to you, You heard from Jay, from Haritji, from Pondrik Saab. So a lot of effort being done from all sides. Haritji is ready to supply the yarn. He is here, sitting with tons of yarn in terms of with no real MOQs. What we normally hear, if you need to import, you need to import a container or 2 containers, something like that. He's ready to give you 500 kgs also. You, in the sense, the manufacturers.
Yeah.
Jay is here, sitting with 500 knitting machines, with complete experience of spandex and various fabrics. So now, what do you think is the missing link after hearing all this? Earlier, you had given your viewpoint, very valid. So the reason for calling in this panel was to solve something on the panel, not just discuss and have some and not having an action plan. So what I want on this panel is having a clear action plan. What are we doing next? So over to you, Anil.
So I heard like a lot of work has been done in the back end. Like I was not aware of such efforts from Jay and Sandeep sir and Mr. Harin sir about this efforts what they are doing. Even I buy fabrics from Everest through a different route. We use that mill. Same goes with Jay also. I have worked with him in past also on few things, but I was not aware of what all is being done right now to capitalize that particular gap in the market. And Sandeep sir also mentioned about the situation in Bihar that they are evolving their infrastructure, they are bringing plug and play. But I still feel that there is a need of creating more awareness about this type of project, to conducting more cross-functional interaction among players who are ready to invest. Like I am representing one brand, but there are 1,000 brands in the market, and I'll tell you one big input from my learning and observation with this company for a couple of months. So I learned that I heard, overheard, and then I learned also that 80% of Indian market consumption comes from unorganized sector. The only 20-25% max side comes from branded. Branded means that I don't want to name some brand, but when you talk about brand, it means global presence. The brands which are available in global presence. And after seeing their product in physical stores also, I feel that they are also selling very regular product in India. They are not selling what we see in other in West or in UK or any other Europe. They are not bringing that expertise, that particular qualities to India or to retail. Only few new players like Uniqlo has come up with something which is unique to the industry. Lululemon is not here. We idolize Lululemon, but Lululemon, to bringing Lululemon, importing that raw material, manufacturing it with the capabilities, like using flat seamer machines, those expertise are not adopted as of now. I'm sure Jay must be, or other players are also working on these type of technique and expertise. So I think collaboration is very important. Reaching out right player, the brands, I would say the front end, the sellers, retailer, and joining hands with companies who are ready to support them in terms of better supply chain, better raw material, and then also infrastructure. Like if Bihar is coming up, only Bihar cannot solve that problem. I think there are more states who has to welcome this, and it has to come up with a solution, collaborative solution. It can't be one-sided, because I think I have been hearing this Bihar involvement for all my 17, 18 years. When I first started, from that time, Bihar was the most important part of generating a cluster like Tirupur, but Bihar hasn't evolved in this 17 years, in 2 decades also. Yes, now they are a effort, but someone needs to participate, collaborate, and keep doing good work to ensure that that loop is closed. I think somehow we in India lose that focus, and we are not closing that whole cycle. So as Sandeep sir has done a lot of research, I think there is a good step that he has brought this to a visible effort. And his plug and play model, I heard it, that plug and play just right through my mind that yes, we need plug and play kind of setups, infrastructure, where if brands want to run a manufacturing CMP model, yes, we should provide them more and more support, and we should make them aware. I'm sure if I haven't heard, maybe only 5 or 10% people have heard of such things. The awareness is very limited.
Great. We heard you, Anil. So I'll just a quick input here. So to prepare all buyers, listen to Bihar. So Mr. Sandeep himself is meeting almost every customer of India at one place on 17th and 18th of December. And probably will invite more people from Bihar to give them that clear, I would say, the welcome that we are ready to complete the loop, as you said, that not just manufacturers of garments, the fabric guys, the yarn guys, the processing guys, all have to come together, and we are ready to help you, not just help you, to work with you to ensure that nothing goes wrong from here. That's my word. Maybe Sandeep ji has more to say before I go to Jay and Harit ji for more questions.
Yeah, thank you, Kishan. So yeah, as you rightly said, so basically we are trying to, and I also take the point made by Anil, that the awareness is not as much as it should be, and we are trying to work in that direction. So we have held meetings in various metros so far, including Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, even Ludhiana, for that matter. And we are organizing meets, as you mentioned, on 17th, 18th in Delhi. We are also sending our teams. So not always, it's not possible for me to go for long time for other states or other metros, but we are also sending our teams to Delhi, Mumbai, to basically meet people and make them aware about what is possible in Bihar. So, for example, last 1 week, our team was in Delhi, meeting various peoples. Then this week, our team will be in Mumbai, and so on in different clusters. So yes, we are trying to do it and meet maximum number of people. And I would basically request everybody's help and collaboration here, because while we can meet maybe 10% of the people, but it's a word of mouth which can go to 90% other people. And if we get those leads and contacts, we can definitely make everybody aware about what is possible. So thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep ji. And that's what is definitely expected from the industry beyond what the government is doing, to collaborate and to make use of the complete system and bring India to a level where the industrialist makes money, and then India makes their face much proud in this sector as well. Thank you. So, Jay and Harit ji, a common question to you both. Harit ji has been involved in the trade for long. He's exposed to UK, to Korea, to Taiwan, to many more countries. He's a learned man, even by the textile industry also. And Jay, you are looking at somebody who would process the fabric better, who would maybe guide you what technology can we avail of. So how do you think that Harit ji and his company can help Mira Cotton in achieving those particular standards? And maybe, like you said earlier, that you are not looking at the quantity only. You're looking at the quantity of a particular product with expertise. So how can the two of you collaborate to gain that expertise and give that product, which is still now not available in general in big numbers with a good quality?
Sir, people say that we should not import from China, or we should stop importing and all those things. What I believe, if we stop importing, our development will stop. So we can learn from Harit ji new qualities, what are global players doing, what qualities are doing. In India, most of the importers right now, they're buying certain quality. They import new qualities, but they're developing these qualities with manufacturers like us. And then that's how we are developing. We're not market leaders. to be honest. Yeah, we are developing the qualities based on what, say, Taiwan is doing, or China is doing, or Japan has done in the past. So yes, we can definitely learn about new qualities and technologies and processes and finishes from him, sir.
Something very important, Mr. Daga, Mr. Shah, is that technology is available in the world, and we need to identify, when I say we, I'm talking about India, okay? Not about Taiwan or Everest, I'm saying we as India. We as Indians and partners of the supply chain need to identify only 3 fabrics or 3 categories of fabrics that we need Indians to use in their athletic wear, in their outerwear. For example, all these years, you and I, we grew up wearing very heavy natural fiber to play games. There are beautiful yarns in polyesters and in nylons with spandex, for example, for both, for Mira cottons used in circular, for others whoever have been visited here, for weaving. All these things, we as producers of fabrics, producers of yarns, need to identify. Number 2, Mr. Daga, when an Indian mill wants to make this kind of a fabric, all they need to do is to send a small swatch of only 12 inches by 12 inches to people like Everest Haren, who will tell you what yarn is used in the manufacture of this fabric. We, of course, will like to sell you yarn and only then tell you how to make it, but it's normal.
Yes.
So if you give us a piece of fabric, ask your yarn manufacturer, I want to make this fabric. Can you teach me? If the manufacturer says, yes, I can, he is the source of supply. Now, in the world, Mr. Daga, there are hundreds of yarn manufacturers. There are millions of mills. There is nobody unique. But the only thing that is unique is the human beings which are behind those mills, is how open they are to their business, how open they are to the genuine efforts of their customer. We, as Everest Haren, are here to stay, here to teach our fellow Indians to make for India, to sell fabric to Bangladesh, Myanmar, Indonesia. That is our goal, because we are going to be weavers for the world. Just like China was the weavers for the world, we are weavers and a consumer market for the world. Like perhaps you must have read yesterday's Mint, Hindustan Times Mint. It says that the world is looking to sell to us. But we have to be one step more intelligent, say, okay, you sell to us, but we will make it and sell it back to you. That is our game. And that is a very important part, is yarn, dye stuff and chemicals, and manufacturing skill. Now, companies like Mira Cotton spend money on infrastructure, but what they would be happy to receive is a little bit new technology, just a little kick, and then they can run. Like we all play tennis or we play golf. It's just a technique barrier. We need a coach to tell us, ki, hold it differently, swing differently, and that makes all the difference. So, Mr. Daga, as an industry, as Mr. Rana said, supply chains compete. And we, as a nation, have to get out of the mentality कि हम बनाएगा, हम किसी को नहीं बताएगा. Bullshit, man. Everybody will make everything. It's just a matter of time. There is nothing unique. But take advantage of the technologies of the world which are coming to you free of charge.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Harit. That was a good piece of advice for not just Jay, I would say, but a lot of more fabric and garment makers in India. But at the same time, fortunately, we are part of a panel and a session which is full of textile technologists. So, rather, I don't know who is available to talk at the moment, but I would like to invite Chachra ji to give us few inputs on what really TAI can contribute into the whole system and bring that change, not just by Taiwan, not just by Everest, but our own talent, which might have been learned from India or from across the world, and be that change maker, the catalyst for us. So, Chachra ji.
Yeah, thanks, Kishan. As a TI, I think we can play a big role to create a bridge between the technocrats or bringing the technocrat together who can specifically talk on this subject and bring the manufacturer also the awareness. In terms of technology, we have a lot of connections out overseas also. So we can get the experts from there also, and they can help us how we can build up the products or what the new things we have to look into that. And Mr. Haran said it's only a mindset of the people who are managing the business over there. And if the mindset is perfect, if you are able to collaborate with the other people, then the success is more easier compared to doing the things in isolation. So collaborating, making a team of the people, TI can help that we can build up a group specifically who can work on in this direction and take the things forward, make it more successful at the earliest possible times. That I can say.
Thank you, Chacha ji. Thanks for that. I would say clear commitment to make the things work for everybody in the industry. So, what I understand from the whole discussion, just to have a quick recap, that we have one brand and many more brands who are wanting to shift their base and source more from India, maybe for domestic market, maybe for international market. Secondly, we have people like Jay Shah and again many more such great entrepreneurs who invested into the scale and quality, but have to take few more steps into R&D, into alignment of international developments to make it work again for the brands like others what we talked about. We have people like Harit ji who's bringing the tech and the product to India as an easy starter. Because if we do our own R&D or everything, will take long. I'm not saying we'll fail, but will take long. But why reinvent the wheel always when we have somebody who's done it and doing it regularly? And then we have, yeah, Jay, please.
If I can just address 2-3 points that Anil ji and Harit ji has raised. Sir, firstly, Anil ji, you mentioned that 80% of the business comes from unorganized retail. Sir, you are being very conservative. I believe that would be 90+%, I think. But having said that, that is true. That is not just the weakness, that is a strength also. Like I said, it's more than scale, it's about product maturity. That can be done by practicing the product, sir. So even into what we've noticed now is that even in 2-tier, 3-tier cities, the consumer is getting educated regarding things like quality issues like bariness. And earlier, everything wo 19-20 chalta hai, 18-20 chalta hai, that is no longer the case, sir. Regarding what you said about Bihar, sir, I think it is a great initiative because what I've noticed is that every decade, the industry shifts from country to country so far. Earlier, it was in China, then it moved to, say, India, then it moved to Bangladesh and Vietnam and so forth. If we want to have this industry in India, this is a highly labor-intensive industry. So we need to keep moving to cheaper places where the labor is cheap. So we need to probably, earlier the way it was moving from country to country, we probably need to move it to from state to state to find cheaper labor. And probably like Sandeep ji said and Kishan ji said, Bihar seems the best option right now. Regarding what Harit ji said, that we need to not just keep making, but share what we are making, how we are making. So we are very closely associated with Creora. Initially, a few years back, we used to save spandex like it is gold, and we used to keep it locked in my cabin and share it. Today, our consumption is over 120 tons monthly for spandex. Now, it's not just that we've grown. Overall, when the technical team of Creora has issues with other manufacturers, they come to us to understand how to cater to those issues. So we are sharing those insights, how to use spandex, what are the issues that people face while knitting, because knitting is also very sensitive. Polyester knitting is highly sensitive. With spandex, it gets very, very sensitive. So it's all trial and error. It's all trial and error. So we are maturing, and that 80-90% of unorganized business is also required, because in order to serve Bliss Club, we need to first learn to serve these people and then move to Bliss Club. So what I always say, in order to become extraordinary, you first need to become ordinary, sir. I'm done. Thank you.
That's great, Jay. That's great. And I would say very well summarized many things on my behalf. Thanks a lot for that. Yeah, Chachaji.
Just one thing, Kishan, when 3 days back, we were in a Holstein conference there.
Yeah.
One thing which point I already raised there, and since now the industry people are present who are looking into penetration or expanding into domestic market. My idea is we always talk about the exports, look for certifications. We talk about Ocotex, GOTS, this and that. Is it the right time that we should focus making such branding in domestic markets also? Maybe we can use this international tags, or we can create our own tags within India. The awareness to the consumer is must now. If you really want to establish our products compared to the European or the Chinese product, we have to make something, as you said rightly, the ye sab chalta hai wala time abhi gaya. If you really want to establish your brands in India, you will have to really look for the qualities which you are already supplying for the export. Why not that qualities can be in India with the awareness to the consumer and putting up the certification into that. And this will create a market in India, awareness with the consumer, and a well establishment of the industry also. And it's a new activewear is now growing industry. It's the right time, as per my thinking, that this step should be taken by industry so that the establishment gets very strong foundation over it.
So if I understand correct, what we are talking is something like what food has got as FSSAI.
Yeah.
Something of that standard for apparel, that it has cleared this particular certification and is good to use in any way.
Yes.
So that's a great input. And Ocotex is one part of it. It's only about health part, but as a confirmation to the quality, it's good to have some certification that is, it performs like this, and we can go with that. So that's a great input. Thanks a lot, Chachaji.
Thank you.
And anybody else from the group who wants to give their inputs are more than welcome or talk or ask any questions to Jay, Anil, Haritji, Pondrik Saab, because these are normally for me, not the people who can be easily approached. So anybody has any questions, please. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Kamal Mishra. I'm not raising any questions, but I would just like to elaborate on what Vikas has so very correctly said, that we have been dependent only on the West for a certification. Why is it that we have the best spinners in the world today? We are making some of the best fabrics. Yes, the area that we lack in is finishing, which has been a Waterloo. But at the same time, why is it that we have to look for every certification towards the West? If we can do the best of the products here, why can't we have our own certification? And it is time that we stopped mimicking only the West. Let us start excelling them. I think with that particular kind of a mind approach, we will be able to do much better than, because we, at this point, we are on a defensive. We say that the West does not accept this. Why doesn't it accept it? We have to fight it out. Maybe I'm talking out of the hat, but this is my thought. I thought I'll share it with you.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Kamal. And that's a very valid thought. Although I would just have two inputs on that. The certification in the West are main focus to the environment they have there, to kind of justify the use in that particular environment. And fortunately, India has all the environments, but in different sectors. A Kashmir can maybe justify a northern US. But if you're making something, testing something in South, as just a thought. So we'll have to brainstorm further in making this a reality. But I'm 200% with you to make it a reality of certification from our country and not dependent on the Intertex who are not Indian, on the Bureau Veritas who are not Indian, on the SGS who are not Indian. Let's have the Nitra and Bitra take the owners, maybe, and take it as the international standard.
That's Kitchen. We can. It's a really something which has created interest into the people. We can have a separate interaction discussions, and let's see if we can take the initiative and take it forward. And TAI will be with you for this, all the support for making this happen. And I will be very happy, and all team of TAI Delhi will be very happy to collaborate with all the people to make this a reality into an Indian market. Let's work on that.
Thank you. And I would like to thank all our esteemed panelists, Jay, Anil, Haritji, Pondrik Saab, and thanks a lot to Vipula and Vandana for coordinating. Thanks to Vikas Chachaji for inviting us all onto the discussion panel and having us being heard by a lot of people across various part of the textile trade. And thanks a lot to TAI, who we have got now attached to, as I definitely believe. They are the, I would say, I can't even say institution, but authority to give us the actual tech to the entire textile trade and make us win. The way we are winning in other industries, textile has to be the new sun, which has to rise very fast now. So thanks a lot. Thank you. And from my side, I close the session. Over to you, Vipula and Vandana.
Thank you, sir. It was really very wonderful discussion we have today. And thank you to all panelists for sharing their experience and view with us. It was really very inspiring for all of us, especially youngsters and those who are interested to be entrepreneurs. Also, I would like to thank Kishan Daga sir for conducting this session so beautifully and smooth. Your suggestion will be surely helpful to all of us. And thank you for making this panel discussion successful. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Vandana.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Some of the parallel sessions are going on. Then we'll move to our validatory session.